Hey everybody, I've been backed up on videos now. I've been working on firewood the last couple of weeks, so I'm trying to catch up. And did a video about a BakFlip MX4 cover for my Ranger, installing it and stuff. And I did order it from Amazon. It was pretty cool. They sent a truck out with two guys to deliver it. And the thing was really in great shape, it looked like when it arrived, but it does have a lot of defects. I'll show you in a while. And they had the best price and really great delivery the next day. And it had the cover, and then there was some hardware and some rubber gasketing to seal it in place. And there's two extrusions that go on the bed. I'll show you in a while. One of them had a little crease in it. And then the Ford Ranger requires a special installation kit along with it, another bag of parts you have to do first. That's pretty much what you get in the box with it. It's a real simple cover. And you have to start by mounting these brackets made for the Ford Ranger on there first. There's some existing holes in the body there that they just barely fit in. You've got to really fight to get them in. But they will fit once you get the paint scraped off them. And then there's a couple nuts, and the two back sides are the same. They're basically a mirror image. And what these are for is to allow you to clamp the extrusion too. So I got the first one on, and then the front ones look like this. And again, they just go on with existing bolt threaded holes in the bed, and they give you bolts to put them in. Now I'm one step ahead of myself here putting these on, so I'm just gonna have to loosen them up a little while, flip them out of the way, but thought I'd show you just the way that they go in there. You can see it goes up in between the that plastic cap in the bed rail, and then across the front there is a big gasket that goes on there right across that front bulkhead there. So you have to clean it good. I use that 90% IPA alcohol, and then you have to make sure you follow the instructions good at putting this gasket in, because there's a little lip on it that has to be a certain way, and you want to make sure you cleaned it good, because this is the only thing that keeps water from pouring in the front of it going down the road. So you put it on there, flush with the bulkhead there, and take your time, make sure it's adhered good and stuff, and try not to stretch it as you go across, because it'll make it skinnier and longer. So just carefully adhere that in place, and it just fits perfect. So that's pretty much the front weather seal. You can see how that fills the gap, and I still wonder why they didn't just run the extrusions over the front to do the drains. I'll show you that in a second. But anyhow, we got the that on there, and then there's a couple blocks that have to go in there. There's a little hole in the front, and they're self-adhesive, and you have to find the exact spot blindly and try to keep them from sticking to anything before you get it there. Kind of a pain, but if you're careful, you can get them in there. And then again, you can see I had to loosen this one bracket up a little bit, just to because my hand wouldn't reach back in there to get that block in there right. And then you just peel the backing off and try to cover the hole. I have no idea why for this price they didn't just extrude little plugs to go in there or something, but that's what you get. So it does, it may be a little bit of the hole open when you're done, looks like, but you get 90% of it. And then there's some little gooey tape strips. There's two little holes in there that also have to be plugged on the front side. So they give you this little gooey tape strip to put on there. And then there's they call them shims. They're pieces of rubber that go on there to bring everything out flush, so you can clamp the clamps without a problem. Now they're made out of a rubber, and I kind of wish they were made out of something harder, just so they wouldn't compress and the rails would sit flat. But anyhow, once you get all the shims on, you need one in the middle and one on each of those brackets. You have to go back and get these side extrusions lined up. And I did put marks on them exactly, how far in you're supposed to put the clamps. Then there's a two-piece clamp setup that's kind of hard to hold in place, because it kind of slips off center as you're trying to tighten it there. It would help to have two people as you're putting this on, so one can hold the extrusion in place and actually push it down. But luckily, you know, these are only short, 5-foot long extrusions. They're not that bad to deal with. And you can see that extrusion in the front there. Oh, here's one on the other side I had to put on. You can see that actually quality problem there. Had a kink in it, but that worked out. If you know, it fit, went in there. So there's the extrusion. You can see that it's tipped in a little bit. It's hard to get with those soft shims. It's really hard to get them tight enough, the clamps tight enough to hold it in place without shifting it. But that's what it looks like. And then a little bit of a gap in the front and the back. That's pretty much even. I made that. So, you know, there will be some leakage on this, I think. But how much will be determined once it finally rains here. And here's the extrusion for the other side. They did a real crappy job of putting the, you can see that weather strip seal on there. It's all cockeyed and the tape sticking out with the glue on it. Can't really do anything about that. And, you know, that we're going to have to live with. You know, there you see that white glue, and that will not come off. I tried, you know, everything, but that I'm stuck with. And I got that one mounted on too. So now it's time to get the cover kind of sitting in place up there. And the front of the cover actually winds up getting bolted down to those two slots in the extrusions. But they give you, there's some little clips here to hold the cover when you're only open one fold there. And they give you the little rubber gasket you have to stick on, and then the clip goes on. And I have no idea why they don't just put a, I don't know if you heard that, but we seem to be in the middle of a helicopter route lately, and it shakes the whole house a couple times a day as they go over low. Sounds like we're in a military warfield. But anyhow, these two brackets, there's one on each side, they get screwed down. It would be nice if they give you a little washer on the top of that too to seal moisture out, but they don't. And I did have some problems with one of them where when you push it up through, there's a bunch of chips that get into threads, so you have to shake them all out, otherwise they won't screw together once they, you know, you try pushing it in place. Then you have to try to line the cover up where it's going to fit. You know, basically you got to kind of center it and make sure it's on that rubber gasket in the front there. Then there's a couple bolts that go in the front, and I thought you just pushed them through, and boy, they're hard to push through. But there's a thumb screw and a rubber washer and a metal washer and a lock washer that go in the bottom then. But I did realize that when it was hard pushing, it actually was that rubber pad they have in there to seal it. They didn't poke a hole in it. So now what you got to do is you got to figure out how to drive a hole through there with that screw to get it in there, and you still want it to seal around the screw. So that's another thing they could have done. I mean, the quality on this was actually terrible. I'll show you in a while. So once you get it all, you know, pretty close to lined up, I just went back and started those two bolts. And it's time to flip it open here and just kind of get everything centered exactly where you want it before you do the final tightening. And looking down this side of it, you can see how it's all put together cockeyed. I'll show you in a second, but you know, it's real nice when it works right. You just pull down on the strings and the locks release, and it opens and folds up. And then you want to make sure it's centered so that that little wiper on the back of it hits the tailgate when you close it. And once you got that, you can go back and tighten up those bolts. And then there are 3 strips of rubber that go on the back that I'm not keen about. They rub up against the truck. They're supposed to hit the glass, but they don't. They're not. The body sticks out too far in those ends. I thought these little rods on the side would actually hold it away from the cab a little bit, but it turns out they don't. I thought they'd hold it up like that, but they won't. They only hold it if you push it all the way down, so I'm going to have to come up with some kind of a gasket or something on there. But there you can see it's it's on, and the cover didn't quite fit exactly right, and had a problem with the gasket there. I'll show you in a second, missing a chunk. There's my tape sticking out there I can't get rid of. And then the whole front of it, if you look, it's all on cockeyed. It makes the cover go cockeyed. The gasket is glued on crooked, and the corner piece is all crooked. So terrible quality from BakFlip. You can see that right there where the whole cover the rubber was just put on wrong. So this definitely has problems. And there you can see where that gasket was missing a chunk out of the corner too. So now it's time to put the drain tubes on. You can see there's little places for them to hook up on the front, and then you've got to drill holes in the bed and have these ugly tubes in here. I have no idea why they didn't continue those extrusions over the front and just dump it off there. They came up with this ugly setup here, which didn't realize it was quite so ugly till I started putting it in there. And I did pull one plug here to just see what was behind it and drill the hole to get the right size hole. And there you can see they go right out the side there, right out the front bulkhead, and they just kind of flop in the wind there, and I'm sure they'll get ripped off by tie downs and stuff like that. But that's what they give you for it. I'm going to eventually try to modify it and get that off the front edge. And then I drilled the hole in the other one. Want to be careful you don't go too far because the cab's right out there. Stuck it in, and that's pretty much everything installed. And those things just flop in the wind. So then I noticed in the bed there were some screws laying, and when I opened this up, and I see that the latch is falling out on these. On this one panel, the latches are loose and falling out. The screws are missing. They actually fell out when I closed the cover, and I tried, took a screwdriver. I was going to try to put them back in, but they're actually all stripped out. Apparently somebody took this one panel here and used a power screwdriver with too much torque, and you can see they stripped out every screw in it, and they kind of ruined the panel there. So I did contact BakFlip, and there were a bunch, as you saw, there were a bunch of different problems with the cover. Sent them pictures of everything and all the problems and stuff, and they did agree to send me another cover out, a replacement to try and fix this. So that's pretty much what it looks like. It's not too bad to install. Figure an hour to install it, and another hour taking pictures to get it replaced. And then it's I decided to go with just a Bedrug bed mat in the back of this. This is the XLT mat that they make. They make a full insert, but I really didn't like it and figured it would be too hard and get dirty. This thing you can just rip out and throw it underground and pressure wash it if it gets dirty or anything like that. And the truck's, not going to have a lot of dirty stuff in the back anyway. The trailer will be used for that. So this is a real easy install. It comes with some Velcro sewed onto the back of the mat there, and you just have to clean up the bed, make sure it's nice and clean. And then there's this Velcro stripping that comes with it. It's got self-adhesive tape on one side, and the other side sticks to the Velcro on the bottom of the mat. So this is like a 2-minute install. You just really have to line that up, stick it to the Velcro on the mat, then figure out exactly where it's going to hit the bed. And then I'm going back with that, I get that 90% IPA alcohol here to get out any wax or anything that may be on there, contamination. That makes that 3M tape stick really good. And just going to clean that down with alcohol. And shouldn't do this on a windy day, I found out. It makes it a pain, but now I'm just going to go back and before I peel the backing off that, just get everything exactly centered where I want it. There's a little gap all the way around, you'll find out. And I guess it's for expansion and contraction maybe, or, you know, I don't know what it's for, but I got it centered and then just went back and peeled off that red tape. The backing on the, it's a 3M industrial tape. And then just carefully stick it in place, and that side's done. And if you ever want to rip it out, you just pull it out, and that you know, the Velcro's on the mat, and the other piece stays in the bed, and you can just pull it out, wash it, and put it right back in. So it really looks like it's going to be nice. And the bed part of it has molded in ribs and everything exactly where all the indents and stuff in a truck bed are. So it's really comfortable to kneel on. You don't get that sore knees crawling in there or anything. And the other side goes on exactly the same. Just stick the Velcro on there and then wipe it down where it's going to go. And then just peel the backing and stick it down. And it really is a kind of a neat material. It's not really a carpet. It looks kind of like a carpet, but I think it's polypropylene or something like that, or polyethylene. I don't know. But it's supposed to be stain resistant, and it's not a very slippery surface either. If you lay something in the bed, it won't slip around. So it's really a good solution for my needs. Now, if you want to fancy the whole bed done and you don't want to have to drill out put the tie downs through it, you know, and bolt it in so you can't just pull it out and clean it, you can go with a full insert too. Now, the tailgate doesn't have the molded on stuff, so you do feel the indents in the tailgate behind it. And same thing with the tailgate. I'm just going to take the alcohol and go back and just clean it off in case there's any wax or contamination on there. Then in the package you get a bunch of these little Velcro tabs. They've got 3M adhesive on one side and double-sided tape on one side and Velcro on the other. And you can see the two Velcro strips sewn into there. So the same thing, you just, I think there's 10 of them, you just pull them off, break them off, and try to get them equally spaced across the tailgate mat there. And just going to be peeling the backing off and sticking it down. And I have found out so far that these do hold really good. They don't come loose or anything. They keep the mat from sliding, moving, no matter what you're putting in there. And if you want to rip it out to clean it, you can just pull the Velcro apart, take it out, clean it, slide it right back in. So it's really a great solution for my needs, at least. So then the same, peel that backing off. And then just be careful that you get it down where you want it when you're working on that. That's the only thing here. You get one shot at it. Make sure it's centered and the latch notches are centered in the latch and stuff. And once they're centered, just push the tape down, and I let it sit for a day before I did anything with it. And there you can see, you know, that was a really quick, easy install. It fit perfect, and I really do like how it looks in there, the gray and the black truck. I put my little swing out frame back in there, and that works with the Bedrug. And close this over. And basically I'm just waiting for BakFlip to send out a good cover now to replace that one. Just so much damage to it. It was, you know, just glued together so cockeyed and stuff. So here we are a week later, and the new one came. Actually, no problems with the new one. There it is on the truck. This one fit perfect. The rubber seals were all good. Everything worked good. And they didn't want the old one back. They told me since it was damaged and stuff, just there you can see this one fits really, you know, really nice. All the moldings are straight on it, and all the rubber extrusions are straight, and they all sit down nice. So this one's a keeper. But they didn't want the old one back. They told me just drill some holes in it and get rid of it. So I was amazed when I saw it's just two thin pieces of aluminum with styrofoam bubbles in the middle of it. I thought it would have like a honeycomb or something like that, but no, just a simple styrofoam panel, so it probably does keep the bed cooler too. I drilled like 5 big holes in there, and I sent them pictures, and that reactivates your warranty. Once they send one out, you have to send pictures of the old one being destroyed. So there it is, and you know, I'm real happy with it, and I'm not sure if it does anything for mileage or anything else, but you know, it does make everything stay drier and makes the truck look better, I think. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe.